hope you're at least okay. Today is a Thursday, and I don't have as much planned as I normally do. Well, I mean, we can kind of talk about miscellaneous stuff because there hasn't been a ton of super, I mean, obviously TikTok, that's a whole fucking thing. But most of what I normally would talk about won't be more relevant until tomorrow. So, we gotta wait. We gotta wait. Ain't that annoying? Oh my god, why is it not working? I think it might be out. I need to light my candle. I put it fully on its side when I light it too. There you go. I really enjoy having candles. Whenever I don't have a candle, I kind of get pretty sad. I don't know why. Makes me depressed. I like to see things burn. I also have to fill up this freaking fish tank again. It's been going wild. I've been having to fill it every couple of days. Oh, I also got a really cute rock to put in it too. I'm really excited. I'm probably gonna clean out some of the clover because it's all starting to float to the top, which isn't really good for it. So I'll probably clean that out, take care of that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow or on Monday or something. Shouldn't be as bad. Also, I'm losing my voice today. I think it'll be better in a little bit, but it's like bleh, bleh. So I haven't been able to talk as much. That's why I'm just like, well, maybe we'll talk about this. Maybe we won't because I'm tired. I had to stay up late to do stuff. I was trying to get everything done. And then do you guys ever stay up so late that it's hard for you to fall asleep because you have to push through your sleepy window? So then I just do another thing until I get tired and then I sleep. That's just usually how it is for me. I'll get 2 hours. Just 2 hours. I'll be able to rest for an hour or two and then I wake up again. Or not wait, but I get I've been like this all day. It's been a mess. That's okay. Hmm. Hopefully, hopefully the next couple weeks are good. Can't believe it's the end of the month too. This weekend I will be a little busy. So this upcoming oh, what do you call it? It's good that I didn't do that. But this upcoming weekend, I have two things going on Saturday. So if I do stream, it'll probably be a little bit earlier, and I'm gonna be really nervous, really nervous, because I'm starting. It'll be my first day, helping out with a thing. So I'm just you know, and it won't be that bad. I know it won't be that bad, but I think I might double up and do two big event stuff things, which will help me with my nerves a lot. So it'll be good. It'll be good. I can't just be on my computer all the time. I get really stressed. Hi, George. How are you? I hope you're good. How are you? How is life? How are the things? Anything exciting? Oh, I have something really cute I want to show you. Not now. Probably later. I'm gonna move a lot of my plants around. I think I'm gonna take some to work. George says, I'm good. It was a do nothing day. Oh, that's nice. I went to, I mean, did you do anything exciting or did you just kind of veg out? Because I envy that. I wish I could have vegged out a bit more. Honestly, I went to an antique thing. I have to go back tomorrow. They have this locket and it's so cute. It's a really cute gold antique locket that's hand engraved. And I really like lockets. And I want more gold jewelry because all of my more permanent jewelry, my bracelet and that sort of thing, is gold. And I want to have more matching stuff because I feel like I need to retire this soon. Doesn't feel like as good of black. Well, I also need to fix the hand. I need to buy a replacement one soon because some of the jewels are falling out. But I want to get one that's really similar because I got this from my mom. So I'm like, oh no. George says it's been raining off and on all day except visiting my sister for coffee. Nothing. Oh, dang. Okay, that's a vibe though. A good coffee day is well needed. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you? Oh, there's supposed to be some hurricanes that are expected to make it over in the next week or so, right? When are the hurricanes hitting the US? Let's see. If Imelda. Yeah, I think we have like a week. Less than a week, probably. But I've been watching it. It's been pretty interesting. Ugh. Are you nervous? They're hoping that all of the storms that you guys have been having, like everything that's been going east, has been will like help deter it and keep it from making as much landfall, which I hope it does. But you're probably going to see some swells and that sort of thing. Maybe not that much actually. I think personally, I think they might die down a bit more. And I think one of them isn't even going to hit. So, yeah. Very rarely do hurricanes reach us, usually just the rain. Yeah. There's a really big typhoon that's, like, hitting China. I don't know if it's now. Or later. Yeah. It killed 17 people in Taiwan. It was massive. Oh my god. Sometimes I feel like typhoons can be a lot more dangerous than hurricanes because of the humidity that they have as it goes inland. Like, I don't know if it's monsoon season right now, though. Let's see. Is it monsoon season? Yeah, it's monsoon season right now, too, which makes it even worse. So any typhoons that they get are just going to be a lot larger, which is crazy. And that kind of stresses me out because I would hate that. I lose my mind. I'd kind of be freaked out all the time. But yeah, you're right. Look at my little burn marks. Isn't that so crazy? Oh, Daria says, OMG Josie, what a day to be British. We've cured Huntington's disease while also are about to have national ID cards imposed on us. Yeah, I've been really curious about the ID cards thing. I was hoping that you'd be here today so you could explain it to me a bit more, at least your perspective. Yeah, but the Huntington's disease, it's technically not a cure, supposedly, but it's supposed to be like a treatment plan that has like a 75% reduction rate. Yeah, I mean, I feel okay source theory or citing ABC News again because, you know, they're finally standing up to Trump a bit more and MAGA. Hopefully, uh, they put a lot more pressure on Trump and don't just like cave again. Daria says it's absolutely incredible. It's a virus that intercepts the bad stuff. True. Yeah. George says I saw that last night. Did Grease splash back up on you? Yeah, it happened a couple days ago. I was frying some stuff for like lunch for Andrew and I. So like I fuck up my elbow. Not my elbow. Well, I did mess up my elbow, but you can't see that because I have like my shirt on. But I fuck up my wrist, my elbow, and then I have these burn marks all over my arm. All of this happened in 1 week, so my right arm is like fucked. Yeah, you see the bruise? It's really deep in there too, and I have like a scar from like when I was a kid right there too. I'm so pale. I get really tan if I'm in the sun enough, but I'm afraid of sun cancer, so. But even with sunscreen on, I get tanner. I just choose to like fully conceal myself. But anyways, I got like some pretty bad burns, and then I have like a scratch here because my cat like fucked me up, and then there like my nail broke. It's been insane. We don't have to talk too much about that because it's kind of boring. Darius says, you want to know about ID cards in the UK? It goes back to Maggie Thatcher, and that was in the Hillsborough disaster, where lots of soccer fans got killed and the government blamed it on hooliganism instead, but it was incompetence and police covered it up. Well, yeah, for sure. The UK low-key has a long history of not having proper regulations for large-scale events. A lot of Europe has struggled with that. I think we talked about that with Marky Mark, maybe. I don't know if he's here right now, though. Daria says, so it started as being seen as war on the working classes from the terrorists. Then Tony Blair went nuts for it in the late 90s. Dang. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Digital ID scheme. Good wording, BBC. Let's see. I know it has a long history. Are you comfortable with it, or what do you think it's being used for now? This BBC article states that Sir Keir Starmer is expected to announce plans for a compulsory UK-wide digital ID scheme in a speech on Friday. There's going to be a lot more news happening tomorrow, just so you guys know. That's why I don't have like a specific thing that we're really working on. It's just miscellaneous because we're going to cover maybe more tomorrow. Let's see. The practicalities of the scheme will be subject to consultation, which will also look at how to make work for those without a smartphone and passport. That makes sense. Blah. Darius says he wanted it in because of illegal immigrants and sex trafficking mainly. How does that prevent sex trafficking? Like, I don't understand because I'm not even going to dive into it. It's been a big thing since leaving office, and the Tony Blair Institute has been pushing it for over a decade. Yeah. I don't like the cost of it, but they've already got all my details. It just feels authoritarian. Yeah. It feels really weird. It's kind of like what they try to do here in the States with the real ID, but having it digital would, I don't know. I feel like I understand it should be an optional thing, IMO, to be able to have like a digital one just for convenience sakes because it I don't know. I don't like carrying around my passport all the time. Like it feels unsafe. I still need to buy a really good passport case. I have my passport here. I don't know. I had it for a bit. It's really cute. It's actually not that cute. I know what the fuck I'm saying. It's boring. It's kind of boring. The American ones are kind of boring, but whatever. Uh, yeah. Is it gonna cost you money? Darius says we have passports and driving licenses, which on some level are voluntary. True. They're not in practice, but this is compulsory, and it's hard to see it beyond papers, please. Kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I think America, I think they can't really push it here because of some legal stuff we have, like legal barriers. But it's really interesting how the UK is like pushing it so hard. I don't get it. He said, Starmer will defend the government's action to curb immigration, arguing that for too many years it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Okay. I thought Brexit was supposed to fix that. Whatever. He will say it's not compassionate left wing politics to rely on labor that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages. The simple fact is that every nation needs to have control over its borders. Oh my god. Oh my god. Writing in the Telegraph ahead of the speech, Starmer said that for years, left-wing parties, including my own, did shy away from previous concerns around illegal immigration without slinging or singling out any previous labor leaders for criticism. But he also rejected reform's toxic approach to the situation, writing that the simple slogans will do nothing to resolve the problem. Quote, there is no silver bullet, but we must enforce every possible measure to deter illegal migrants from entering British waters. That doesn't prevent people from showing up, though? Like, I don't get it. Let's see. It'll cost the country $100 million a year and $2 billion, holy fuck, to set up the service correctly, so those costs will triple. Damn. The thing is, a lot of Europe uses these cards, and the UK has always been against it. Oh, huh. Does the EU have any regulations for or against it? Because I know it's something that's more prominent in not every country, but I know a lot of countries have proposed doing something similar, like even Eastern countries. Let's see. Darius says the political landscape in the UK is all about immigration. These cards are just another ridiculous solution. Yeah. Darius says, I'm not sure, but the French have been using ID cards for decades. Yeah. But here's the thing. Are they digital too? Like, how... Like, I understand that everything is going to be just online now. Like, I have two phones. Just for, like, one for, whatever. But, one of my phones has, like, all of my, there's, like, an app that has, like, a really secure, like, passcode or whatever. And I have, like, my cards on there. And then my other phone doesn't have anything related to that. It's not, like, a burner phone. Or anything like that. It's just so I can learn different languages. So all the whatever. But anyways, Daria says, and this is a digital one. The French, I think, introduced their digital one this summer. Oh, so you're copying the French. Oui, oui. Let's see, French. Digital. All right. It's whether it ties into stuff like Twitter, Amazon, etc., and you have to constantly prove who you are and monitored online, offline, etc. Oh, that's so weird. I love how it just auto-translated for me, and I was like, I need that, thank you. As of March 31st, 2025, you can renew your national identity card CNI for free. This experimental device aims to speed up the adoption of digital identities in France by facilitating access to electronic identity card in bank card format CNIE. Let's see. Yeah, you have to return the old ID card when the new one is issued. That's interesting to me. Here in the States, they kind of take your ID and they clip it with like a void stamp, normally. For me, the people at the DMV really like me. or just because, I don't know, I feel like I was a little privileged, but I've never really gotten the void stamp on mine, which is probably a faulty thing. Like, I think they're supposed to when they're issuing you a new one, so people can't use your old ID. Anyways, Daria says, so we don't have a lot of details, but if we buy something from Amazon, you need to use a digital ID card, and then the government gets the data. That's interesting. That's interesting. Because, like, here in America, primarily, because this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like, gun databases and stuff like that. So, most databases, because this is why, or partially why it was, like, going to go all the way up to the Supreme Court in, like, 2003-ish, right? Long story short, having a database that the government has control over with people's purchases is like a really, really controversial thing. And there's a whole thing in that court case about gun regulation and stuff like that, about having that database, because not because of guns, because people always make it about guns. It's not about the guns itself. It's about having a database of like any form of consumer product that is purchased. So if a database were to be created, it would have to be by the individual private companies who are selling you those products. And then the government would have to subpoena that information because a lot of that data is very profitable for them to keep. They usually sell the metrics to different companies like ad agencies, that sort of thing, to help them make a lot of money. So here in the States, that shit would probably not fly easily at all. Like, at all, at all. Let's see. Daria says, can the police ask you for your ID card with no cause? What happens if you don't have it? No clarification so far. Damn, that's for you guys, right? Or are you asking for us? Daria says, when I lived in Chile, there was a law to be on some streets you need the equivalent of $10 in your pocket or you would be arrested. I don't want that kind of thing here. Yeah, I don't know about that one. That one's interesting. I'd like to, I don't know. It'd be interesting to look into that. But here in the States, there's a lot of protections regarding, not really protections, but a separation between government databases and information and private entities. And having them cross a lot is really weird. So, like, having, like, sex sites, where people watch porn and that sort of thing. Having state regulations or federal regulations stating that people have to use IDs to, like, check into it is a really weird kind of, like, process because technically they would be able to gather that data, and that's why a lot of people are just like, just use a VPN, just use something else, because we don't want the government having that data. And I don't know if there's a lot of court cases going into like that sort of thing, but I know that as of now it's really like, ooh, it definitely depends on the market. If there are existing federal regulations or state regulations, they have more authority to impose something like that, but you couldn't really impose that for like everyday general product use or that sort of thing. Although that may change slightly in the future. Anyways, Joy says it was to get riffraff away from the posh areas, basically. Oh, weird. The thing is basically Google, Twitter, the government, they all have this data already. Yeah, but my question is, because I've been talking to some people about this before, like Andrew, who talks about this all the time, and we're both trying to dive deeper into kind of like privacy in the EU, because it is very different than what we have in the States. Like, the states do have some privacy concerns, but most of it has to do with private companies and them selling our data to data mining companies and that sort of thing, who just fish stuff out of you and try to make more money or whatever. Like, ours is more corporate entity based and yours is more government based. Which obviously the government still has access to that. We already know all of that, but whatever. They don't really need to ask permission. They technically are supposed to, but there's lots of legal precedent that states that if they can get access into it, they're legally allowed to. They just need to have cause. But that's really only if they get caught. That's kind of fucked up. But yeah. Jerry says, yeah, it's wildly different. Like, one thing I do want to mention is that here in the States, just because the government isn't supposed to do something, there are so many loopholes to allow for them to monitor whoever they want, basically. Daria says, we have extraordinarily strong consumer laws because of the EU, but our private data is open market, yeah, for the governments. It's really weird. Like, I don't know. The thing that makes it harder here in the States is that they technically cannot easily administer the stuff that they've been monitoring on you in court. That's the biggest separation. So they can monitor you, they can do all this stuff, but unless there is something that's public, or something that triggers the ability for them to have like a subpoena or a court order to request information from a private entity, doesn't matter how much they monitor it, they technically would not be able to file charges against you without getting that information legally. So even though they can monitor it, they would need that in order to have a proper court case. which is fucking annoying, but whatever. I mean, not like annoying, but it's annoying because they can do it, they can monitor you, but what are they doing with that data? There's lots of questions, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Starry says, you never get the famous big data target because of the pregnant girl over here. Wait, what? What does that mean? I am confused. You also never be allowed to vote without some form of ID here. Oh yeah, no, you have that here. Like in Nebraska, I help out with voting, and I've been doing that for a while now. Ever since I was a kid, I've been kind of involved in the voting process. But here, we enacted this regulation during the last presidential election, or at least right like around that time. And working the polls was really, really weird because people had to show their IDs. So like my job when people would come into the polling station is I called myself the bad bouncer to people. They either had to have a state ID, a school ID from a state school or whatever, or they needed a passport in order to vote. And if they didn't have that, they would have to leave. And if you don't have like same day like voting registration, you're kind of fucked too. Before that, you could just like give your name, give your address or whatever, but now we have to be sure that your address on your ID lines up with the address that you have on your like your registration. And that makes things complicated too, because sometimes people move and it just sucks. Daria says, oh, here we go. Basically, they used big data to work out a girl was pregnant from her shopping habits and started targeting adverts to her and her family instead of pregnancy stuff. Bro, that's crazy. George says, I've never showed my ID to vote in my state. Well, it's because Maryland has a lot more protections for that sort of thing than Nebraska does. And I did turn away a lot of people. I would say I turned away for the presidential election about 2% of the people that came in because they didn't have proper identification and they just ended up not voting as a whole. It sucked. Oh my god. So Target started sending coupons for baby items and oh my god, to customers according to their pregnancy scores. That's fucking crazy. That is actually insane. Hi, Ryan. It was like 15 years ago or something. Yeah, that did seem like a while ago. George says, yeah, it's crazy that they didn't get a vote. Oh, yeah, and within that 2% was also people who couldn't do same-day registration. So here in Nebraska, you can register to vote up to, I think it's like 24 to 48 hours before polls open. So when the day of voting happens, you can't just go online and register to vote. You have to have all of that done beforehand. And that's really annoying because people move and people just forget. And in a lot of other states, people can just sign up immediately and vote. It's really stupid. Like a lot of the legal stuff in Nebraska is fucking horseshit, and I hate it. Like, but that's a whole different discussion. Let's see. Daria says, yeah, I find wild. Or, we can have something called the electoral, register. And about 6 months beforehand, you have to sort it out. Go to a polling station with ID, and then you can vote. Damn. 6 months beforehand. Yeah, sometimes when you sign up for like a new ID card and that sort of thing at the DMV, they give you the option to register to vote on the spot so you don't have to worry about it. Anytime you have a change of address or something like that, legally speaking, you're supposed to get that corrected when you go to the DMV. Different states have different time limits for that, so if you were to move to California, you would have to get it done within 30 or so days. I think it's like a month. And here in Nebraska, you have, I believe, like 3 or so months before they actually try to pursue you. Let's see. Daria says it lists everyone in your house, an address, age, full name, etc. That's crazy. That's when they send it out. I can't remember the cutoff, but I think it's probably like 2 weeks. Oh, so you kind of do it as a household unit. And if you have roommates, as long as you're under like the same address, you would just all do it together. It's very individualistic here in Nebraska. Like, you have to do it by yourself in most states. Let's see. Yeah, this was in 2012. Damn. That's so long ago, yo. I don't know. Oh, by the way, there's going to be an ad in 45 seconds. It's not going to be for 45 seconds. It's going to be for a minute and a half. And I believe you can do that math. Daria says, no, it's as individuals. You're just responsible for yourself. It's not that hard and works well, but if it's obviously very different to your system. Yeah. The goal here in the States is to have same day registration available for people, because a lot of people, they lose things in the mail. They, like, there's lots of reasons why they may not be registered to vote. Like I said, they moved or blah, 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 blah. And they just didn't, like, do whatever to make sure that they could. It's just really annoying. Daria says, so this is why the ID card thing is just a bit odd, because we kind of give all this info already, and they have it, yeah. Yeah, I get it. Daria says, they're saying it's for employers and landlords to check if you have the right to work, etc. I don't know. It's really weird. Wouldn't you have to submit documentation stating that, like, oh, because here in America, when you start renting out different properties, depending on the scale of your property, you have to submit, like, bank account statements. And this also happens if you're working, like, a full-time job, part-time job, like, whatever. If you're even getting, like, the government's paying for you, like, you're getting welfare checks or, like, whatever. Like, what's it called when you unemployment checks, that sort of thing, you still have to turn in your bank account statements to prove that you have employment. Or you have to have, like, your manager write it off, whatever. So you have to turn that in before you can get handed the keys. It's part of the application process normally. And they will sometimes price fix you depending on what you have. Like, if you're trying to buy a house, especially here in Nebraska, like, well, in Omaha in particular, or Lincoln, the larger cities, in the historic neighborhoods, if you want to be considered, you have to have those bank statements on you as you're taking the tour. And if you don't have that, and if you don't turn it in, you won't even be considered. They'll just give it to the next person who actually has it present. That's how competitive it is here. I work, well, sometimes I help out with, like, historic buildings and that sort of thing, and that's how I know. But yeah. Let's see. So they now get responsibility for criminal action ID, imagine. That's fucking crazy, Darius. And Darius says, it's more red tape and cost for a failing economy, fair. I'm open-minded to it, but I can't see a good argument for it yet, and can see a lot of authoritarian issues, yeah. I think it could be heavily abused. Easily. Easily. George says they run a credit check too, yeah. Like, having anything below, like, a 650 can make it so you can't even be qualified to go into certain spaces or work in certain environments. And that sucks. Like, not even, well, regardless of if you work in certain environments, if your credit's bad, they won't help you. And also, it's hard to build credit unless you start going into debt. Like, that's super fucking annoying. Oh, why is it so complicated here in America? It's ridiculous. But yeah. But anyways, that's, like, a whole different thing. Do you have, like, the same or, like, a similar credit kind of program in the UK, Darius? Or is that just mainly an American thing? Because I know a lot of other countries don't have it at all. Darius says, we get credit checks mainly for buying things on credit/loans. I've only ever had to give 3 bank statements to a landlord when I was renting. Oh, dang. Yeah. Here in the States, it's very, very, like, and the higher up you go, the harder it is. Rai says, my mother has the best credit score possible because she never took out a loan in her life. Bro, that I feel like you have to take out a loan in order to get the best credit score possible. Because that's like what, like an 800 or something? Um, let's see. No, you generally cannot achieve a perfect credit score without taking out a loan or having other credit accounts, such as credit cards, because a significant portion of your credit score depends on demonstrating responsible credit behavior over time. You'll normally have like a 650, 700 if you don't take it out. Yeah. You can only get into the low 800s though. And you'd have to have a very long like history. It'd be interesting to have like a perfect one though. She never took out a loan. Well, I guess you could like rent out different things and that could also be included and credit cards and stuff. It really depends. Sorry, Rai. I'm not trying to question you. I was just like, is it even possible? Because I don't know. I like economics, so I was like, I don't think it is, but it probably is. I'm probably wrong. Daria says, and that's fair enough to me, but it's also very common here. So it's just normal. Yeah, that makes sense. George says 850 I think is the best. Yeah, I believe so too. Daria says, social credit is something I find far more worrying. Ooh, yeah. I mean, that kind of already exists though, even without a measurement system. Like, with AI and stuff like that, people and companies will literally like scrape your social media accounts and like it'll just play through everything that you have like posted or whatever and you'll look for like trigger words and if you mention certain things enough or do whatever enough you just will be DQ'd or disqualified from you know even being hired. It's kind of crazy. Sometimes companies don't have that, but it just depends on your position and how much image really matters to the company. Let's see. Daria says, and like things like assisted dying, which I think is a good thing, I worry about how far these things can get pushed. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. I don't know. On Fox News, they were literally talking about euthanizing homeless people if they don't want to go into homeless shelters, which was fucking crazy. I have no idea how that thing is still on air. I grew up watching fucking Fox News and I was like, holy shit. I can't believe I watched that growing up. Plant Girl, hi Schmicky. I have more plants too. I actually, I've been repotting a lot of them. I should count all of them because I have to repot a ton of those. I already got some of them ready. I got like a little concrete planter. Ah, it's gonna be so cute. Anyways, hi Schmicky. We're talking about government monitoring and monetization and stuff like that. Repot, what if they get the munchies? Bruh! That was a good one. Okay. Darren says, at the moment, here we have legislation saying if you're terminal, according to doctors, with less than 6 months to live, you can go on your own, out on your own terms. That's good in my mind, but I also worry about those kind of systems being abused and expanded upon. Hmm. One of my long-term chatters, like he was here when I first started streaming, helped me build up my Discord and that sort of thing. Um, he actually works at one of those centers in a more northeastern European country. Mm. Shmiki says, I feel like if you can get two doctors to agree, it sounds good. Yeah, I kind of stay out of it. Are you reading Fun Dip? Yes, I love Fun Dip. Around Halloween, hi Chaotic, and Valentine's Day, I always have it. Shmiki says, I wish I could just buy and eat the sticks. I know, the sticks are the best part. I eat this when I game. When I game on stream, I have like these streamer candies. That slight vanilla flavor. I know. It's so good. I wish there were more flavors. It's like my favorite. I always have the blue one too. Andrew, are there more flavors of Fun Dip, or is it just cherry and blue rats?
I feel like there's a green apple one, but I'm not.
I feel like they don't have green apple anymore. I'm gonna look this up. Shmiki says, I just throw the powder back like a shot, choke on it for a few minutes, and then savor the stick. Bro, they have watermelon? What flavors do they have? What flavors of Fun Dip exist? Cherry, grape, and blue raspberry / apple. Oh, this is the Raz apple. What the fuck? They have so many different flavors. I want the cherry. The cherry is really good, but I never see the grape one anymore. Yeah, they have watermelon too. Oh, those are the Fun Dip sours with like the strawberry. Yum yum yum. Aw, that's so nice, George. Congratulations. Hi, love. It is W, George. Hell yeah, George. And I have emotes for you guys now. I'm still working on the new ones. It's a seasonal flavor. Bro, I only get these when they have them for Halloween or for Valentine's Day. And it's always like the like blue raspberry apple or the cherry one. Raph, we're talking about government censorship. Also government monitorization and stuff like that. There's like a thing happening. I love that emote so much. It's so fun. It's from my old, like when I first started streaming. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put all the classic emotes here. And I might have to like hire someone to help me with the background. To remove the background in the ones that I've been making. I think we call them Swizzlers here. They're pink and yellow flavored dust. It's so good. Ingredients: dextrose, maltodextrin, contains 2% or less of citric acid, calcium stearate, blue 1, lake, yellow 5, natural flavors, and blue 1. It's a product of Mexico. Pixie sticks are butts and too. I love straight sugar. Like, I don't like things that are sweet, like pastries that are sweet. It's just like too much for me. But if it's just like straight sugar, I'm here for it. Shmiki says, kids used to snort pixie stick dust at the roller rink. Andrew snorted pixie stick dust. Love says how the government will always censor us. That's pretty true. When they can, and when they can't, they throw a hissy fit like Trump. Daria says, we had a sherbet dip, which was just a tube full of sherbet, and you had a licorice stick. Are you guys okay over there? Love says they always can, question mark? Well, yeah, generally they can. Technically, they can violate the law if they want to. It's just who's gonna punish them, you know? Shmiki says, one time an employee stopped and stared, and we thought we were in trouble, and he said, let me get a hit, and started some. Bro, what the heck? Shmiki says, that sounds like the most British thing you. Are you British? He literally is, yes! Dari says, you can shit on your cuisine, but not our sweets. We are light years ahead. I have a P.O. box. Fucking send me some. Please do. Cadbury's are good. I really like chocolate. Not gonna lie, those Cadbury caramel eggs are fire, and chocolate oranges are my favorite thing in the entire world. The only place I can get good like European candy is either online or Aldi. It's always like Dutch shit. Or German. Aldi? Yeah, Aldi's nuts. Schmicky says, I always buy a couple trays. Sorry. I always buy a couple trays at the store when they come around. Haha, the Terry's chocolate oranges. I get like 20 of them. Yeah, they last like 20 days. Damn. Okay, okay. Love says the big country Europe. Huh? Please tell me it's like a really upmarket shop Aldi. Wait, what do you mean? Oh, chaotic. Thank you. You're so sweet. Mickey says, no, I mean 20 of them last me like 20 days. Oh, hell yeah. Technically, I've been like trying to work out more and stuff like that. And people are like, oh, if you want to see your abs, you can't have candy, you can't have sugar, you can't have sweets. And I'm over here, like my abs are coming in. I got like the ab line all the way down and I'm getting like the oblique ones. Like I'm gonna be chiseled. Chiseled by Christmas, bitches. For myself. Anyways, I haven't seen like my full like ab line in like 3 years and I'm so excited. But anyways, people are like, you can't eat candy. And I'm just like, this is my pre-workout. I'll eat Fun Dip like right before I work out because I can't have too much caffeine. Anyways, I want to be a chocolate orange in my next life. Me too, Schmicky. Actually, no, I don't want to be eaten like that. Daria says, it's like our Walmart here, but it doesn't have good catchphrases as Asta. Aldi is like I like it more than Walmart and stuff like that because you get a lot of European foods and I don't like a lot of American foods because American food is too sweet. So when they have like just like European cereals, I'm like, oh my god, this is so much better. Like it's not like Special K is really sweet. They put like sugar in it, you know? And I don't know, it's better. Like the little like cookies and stuff like that that you guys have, so much better. So much better because it's not too sweet. Like I like milk chocolate, but American milk chocolate is way too sweet for me. Way too sweet. Mickey says, sorry, I feel like you guys are in deep political talk before I was like fun up. No, it's okay. Today's kind of a free day. We'll be more into the weeds tomorrow. Dara says, I think Aldi was the one that got conned by the mafia to sell horse meat instead of beef. No, no, no. That was IKEA. American milk chocolate is enriched polonium. It's horrible. I hate American milk chocolate. Like I really don't like it. Like my one of the pastors, the youth pastors at like the school that was adjacent to my grandpa's church or whatever, like slash like the school, he was British, and the other dude was like Australian, and they would give me like Aussie and British like candy and stuff like Cadbury or whatever. Every time they travel, they'd bring back a ton of candy, and like the pastor's kids would just be like, you know, because it was just good as shit. And I didn't like American chocolate after that. Like people would be like, have a s'mores, have something like that, and I'll just be like, It's just not good. Anyways, but you're right. American. I know some people really like American chocolate. It's fine. I respect you and your bad opinions. Gary says yes, Josie. Nothing beats like African chocolate though. African chocolate is really good. Sweets from Japan or Eastern Asia, fuck. So good. So good. So fucking, you don't even know. Mmm. Mmm. Schmicky says, I heard, and I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Aldi is owned by like 2 entities which don't operate in the same countries except for in the US. And the one Aldi is called Aldi and the other one is Trader Joe's. Oh, really? Hmm. I don't really go to Trader Joe's though. Hmm. Apparently, Irish chocolate is out of this world, but I avoid carbs and I don't want to get addicted. I haven't had Irish chocolate. I might have when I was younger and don't remember it, but I don't recall ever having it. All I remember is he would come back like after holidays and stuff like that, and he would have all this candy. And my grandpa would be just like at the college or at the church or whatever doing like his paperwork or whatever, and he'd just be like, Josie, just go fuck around, because they were basically like, you do whatever as long as you don't burn anything down, it doesn't matter. So I would annoy and bother all the other staff, and I would just watch them do their jobs. It was so fucked up. Anyways, and they would just give me candy because I just kept asking questions. So they'd be like, eat food. Shut the fuck up. Shmiki says, I don't know. I love me an Aldi and a Trader Joe's. I haven't really been to, I only went to Trader Joe's when I lived by one. And even then, I preferred Aldi when I was younger. Darius says they're cows or like super cows or something. That's so true, Shmiki. But it must be an agreement that they can only build Trader Joe's where they can make the biggest wreck of a parking lot ever. Yeah, that's so true. Like the Trader Joe's that I lived by, because I used to live by like a strip mall, right? And there was a Trader Joe's, and then next to it was Ulta, and that's how I got obsessed with like makeup and that sort of thing. And I got really interested in like skincare and perfumes and stuff when I was a kid, because my grandma would go shopping at Trader Joe's, and she loved going through every aisle, looking at every little thing. It was like her me time or whatever. And me and my little ADHD ass would just be like bouncing off the walls like an Energizer bunny, because I could go through a little bit, but I can't go like item by item like how she would. So I would just go, this explains so much about me, just so you guys know. But I would just go to the Ulta next door, and I would bother all the people, and I'd ask them questions about the makeup, the ingredients of everything, skincare, all that stuff. So I got into that at a young age. Shmiki says, oh, Darius says, because it's milk chocolate. The milk is what makes the difference in Switzerland and Ireland. Huh. I don't know. American milk is like not even as regulated anymore, which is concerning. Shmiki says this Trader Joe's parking lot must average no less than 4 fender benders an hour if any last must close. That's fair. That's fair. Oh, close! I said close. English is my first language, y'all. Daria says, who is Trader Joe? Is it like a supermarket? Yeah. Basically, Trader Joe's will buy products or product entities from random people, and they'll put their name on it, and then everything is Trader Joe's logo. And they sell it at a discounted rate because they produce everything. Shmiki says a lot more natural things, but also pretty affordable. Yeah, their flower arrangements are really good. I can't have bouquets because my cats try to fucking eat them all the time. But I might. I would love to have bouquets given to me, though. I would hide them from my pets. That's what I do whenever I cut bouquets. I just put them, like, in a spot where my cats can't get to them. Otherwise, they try to fucking eat them. Whatever. Shmiki says mostly their house brand things, yeah. I think they do have some other wine-related stuff that is not Trader Joe's brand, but I could be wrong. I don't buy any wine now. One of my, Ukrainian, like, coworkers, she does like events with me sometimes. She's a bartender, so we talk about wine a lot together. And she was telling me that there's like a Portuguese wine that's made out of like unripened like green grapes that's really good at Trader Joe's. So next time I go, I want to get it. Not really for me, just for like to have for events. I really don't really drink as much anymore. It makes me feel gross. Shmiki says, and a gift shop. Do they have the? Oh yeah, Cracker Barrel. Yeah. George says, try going to Costco. You have to circle the parking lot for 30 minutes before you can find a spot to park. That's why I have all of my friends with Costco memberships go buy things for me, and then I just pay them, and I'm just like, thank you. I feel like I could get my bubble water there instead. Shmiki says, Dory says, so Trader Joe's is like an IKEA in food. No, not like IKEA, just like food. They just sell food products. Schmicky says, in a political statement, apparently. Cracker Barrel? Or which one? This is so good. Mickey says, yeah, our Costco line to check out always goes from the front all the way to the back by the meat and then down the back wall and wraps around the produce. Bro, My, at one of the places I, like, volunteer at, because technically, well, I work there. They pay me sometimes, but, uh, they go to Costco and they're like, is there anything that you want to put on the Costco list? You just have to pay us back for it. And so far, there hasn't really been a lot of stuff that I want. I might have them get me like Prosecco because they have like cheaper Prosecco there. But I would just save that for an event. And I got like a bottle that I'm saving too. So I'm like, eh. Oh, Darius, yeah, you can pause or rewind now. It's crazy. George says, I do the same thing. I give my shopping list to my niece and sister. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I do not have the patience to sit in line. I get so impatient. I don't sit on my phone. I just like sit there and I'm just like, and my brain cannot like filter out the sounds around me super well, so I have to like put in my headphones. I don't have anything playing. I just put them in like my earbuds and I just sit there and I'm just like, and then my brain just starts thinking. And then people usually tap me on the shoulder and they're like, go for it. And I'm like, okay. Let's see. Daria says, yeah, Cracker Barrel is one that got bullied out of a logo. Oh, yeah. It's like an IHOP kind of thing, cheap fast food. Nah, Cracker Barrel, yeah, they took the cracker off the Cracker Barrel logo and the crackers lost their mind. Bro, it's so fucking true. The last time I went to Cracker Barrel was when Andrew was like eating with his grandparents and then they like invited me out to go with them. And then I found out we were going to Cracker Barrel and I was like, holy shit, I haven't been here since I was like a child, like a very young child for like a kind of like church event thing. And honestly, it was really weird. They have like a country aesthetic and then they have like this little shop inside of it where they sell things like merchandise and like lots of like country living aesthetic stuff. I just didn't care for it. I was like, what is the appeal here? I'd rather have ramen or sushi. I don't know. I don't know. But it was kind of like weird. Yeah. It's just not my thing. It's not my thing. I don't even know if I would ever go back to like a Cracker Barrel. You know, a lot of companies are starting to take all of like the pizzazz out of their restaurants, like no themed restaurants or whatever. Everything's really cut and dry and kind of looks like a Chipotle. And they build all the new buildings to be so plain Jane that they could just sell everything off and just have like any other business move in. Because they mainly just care about like the land than they actually do about the restaurant itself anymore. Which is kind of crazy. Oh my gosh, I have like, I'm not to have the hiccups. Okay, that should be better. When I have the hiccups, I sound like a demented, like, I sound insane when I have the hiccups. People think I'm faking all the time. I'm not. And then I remember, you guys probably do not care about this at all, but I think it's interesting, so I'm gonna share it anyways. But when I get the hiccups, People think I'm baking to the point where when I was in school, I was taking an exam and they literally made me leave and go talk to the principal when I was in elementary school because they thought I was intentionally being disruptive. And then because I was trying to hold my hiccups back, it just kept getting worse and worse. And it's like, I don't even know how to it's like a pterodactyl, but like inverted. It's kind of fucked up. I don't know why it's like that. It's so weird. What else do we have today? Yeah, history, Trump, miscellaneous chats. I don't know. That was kind of it. I mean, what else has been going on in the news? Daria says, I got in trouble at school because I didn't like my math teacher, so I listed his car for sale at a bargain price. Bro! George says, damn, how loud did you get? It's not really loud, it's the sound it makes. It's like, oh my god, I think I messed up my eyeliner today. Right. Okay, sorry, I had to fix that. No, but it's not really loud. It's just, it sounds demented. It's like really freaky. And people are like, no. And I'm like, sorry. Dang. Dari says, I got in more trouble because I had to see the head teacher with him and my parents, and they asked me why I did it, so I said it was because it was funny and started laughing. Bro! Bro! That is funny as hell. You shouldn't have done that, though. How did you? I feel so bad for you. No. Everyone was shouting at me, but I was right. It was funny. Oh my god. Wait, did you actually sell it for money? Or was it just like listed? Because that's like two different things. That is two very, very different things, just so you know. Just so we all are aware. What else is happening? I'm just trying to see all the vibes. Let's see. Let's say. Is there anything that's like happening? Ugh, it'll be bigger tomorrow. Let's see. Daria says, no, I listed it and got all the potential buyers to come to school during our math test, and they started fighting in the schoolyard. Okay. Okay. Because I don't see why I should do exams outside of the official exam window. I was such a fucking goody two shoes in school. I like one time I was like so in like the public school system that I was a part of, there was a thing called the safety seat, and you would be sent to the safety seat, which would basically be like a desk that would be in the corner of the classroom that was like facing the wall. And because I would have like ADHD, I'd get so distracted. And I would just sit there and I'd be like staring, or I wouldn't be paying attention to the teacher. I'd be looking out the window and I would just be like, just not focusing, and I'd always be fidgeting. And one of my teachers was like, Josie, you need to stop jostling your leg, like moving it up and down, because you're like causing a disruption for the class. And I was like, okay. And then I started like moving my pen because I still cannot sit still for long periods of time. It's so problematic. I don't even know. I'm just like that. It's like anxious people are like that too, just so y'all know. And I would just sit there and just like fidget constantly. And she was so mad at me because she kept telling me to stop and I just could not stop, that she sent me to the safety seat and I was just crying in the corner. like literally sobbing. And then because I was crying too loud, she sent me to the principal's office. And I was like crying so hard. I was like, are you gonna are you gonna hit me? The principal was so chill about it. She just had me like sit in the corner of her office and play with like her kids' toys. It's a core memory for me. Daria says, we used to play a game with our deaf French teacher. What? How? What? Were they teaching you like sign language in French or something? I'm so confused. Where when he was distracted by baguettes or something, we would see how many of us could climb out the window. It was just a terrible school? Yeah, it sounds like it, bro. Yo, no vibes for me. That is not the vibe. This is why I never want to be a teacher. I do sub teaching and I'm like, that is it. That is it. I could not be a full-time teacher. I'd lose my mind. I could, but I don't think I'd be happy because you only get paid like $100 a day. In most states, in cities, especially smaller towns and rural areas, you get paid like $100 a day. Sometimes it can be a little more than that with like your benefits or whatever, but no thank you. That's like minus the taxes and stuff like that. It's usually a bit more than that, but you get what I mean. I don't want that. Do you guys pay your teachers well there? Is that a thing you guys do or no? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Daria says, one of our teachers, actually it was the math teacher, got arrested during a lesson the year I left because he was running some illegal accountancy scheme. Oh my god. Are you serious? Andrew! Was there anything crazy that happened at like our high school? Like someone, like a teacher getting arrested or whatever? Well, there was drownings in my class. That happened. Oh yeah, it happened like twice, I think. Well, once in my class. Well, technically, here's the deets, y'all. Every class I was in was fucking chaotic, and it was with a certain group of people. And my teachers were like, "Oh, they like you, Josie, and you're a goody two shoes, so go help fix them or whatever." And I would just be like, "Fuck you," and they would just like assign me to people and help them. And they told me I was a good influence or whatever. So there was this one kid because it was a swimming class, right? It was like just like a swimming sports or whatever. Holy fuck, Toemi. I was thinking about doing ESL in Egypt too. But Egyptian Arabic's like hard because a lot of it's really different. But anyways, so hi, nice to meet you. Long story short, our original teacher, who was lifeguard certified, got a concussion because one of the kids decided to take a kayak off the how do I say it? She was in the back room with them and they were trying to get floaties and stuff like that. And he wanted to surprise the class with the kayak and just throw it in because he was a class clown. And then he hit her and then she fell over and she had a concussion and she like passed out for a little bit. It was a thing, it was a moment. And then after that, instead of having a teacher that had their lifeguarding certification come and help, they just had a random teacher sub in instead, even though the lifeguard teacher was able to. They just didn't want to pay him extra, so they just didn't have him do it. And then basically, he wasn't following proper guidelines. I was a lifeguard at that time, and one of my coworkers at a pool I worked at was in that class too. And oh, it was so fucking bad. Basically, a kid jumped off they were trying to jump off the, kind of like the side into the pool, and he slipped and hit his head, like his shoulder and his head on like the side of it, and then he got conked out and he like sunk to the bottom of the pool. My coworker made the save, and then I was like there like calling 911, and we basically had to do our job at the school. And when they pulled him out, he was like almost dead now, and the whole class was like crying and shit. And me, because it was my job and I had to deal with this before, I like didn't know how to explain it to them in a way to like I was like, "Oh no, guys, it's okay. He was only down there for 6 minutes because he was blue and he had a seizure, so he's chilled. That means that there's a lot of oxygen in his blood and like he's coming back to normal. It'd be bad if we didn't see this sort of thing happening." And then he was like, "Okay," and stuff like that cuz like when you see it enough, you know like if it's okay and if it's not. And it's not like I just worked at a lot of pools. I was a lifeguard for 6 years. Just so you guys know. And I was all over the US. So like obviously I've seen it time to time. And then the school was like really weird about it, and they were like really weird to like me, and the people had to make the save because they were low-key like almost gonna get a lawsuit. And, and then all of us in the class just kind of got to do whatever we wanted for like the rest of the year. It was crazy. Uh, Hold on. George says, hold on. Did you say you were a good influence in school? Yeah. No, like I was like a honors student. I was a straight A student. I was an honor roll almost every year. I lettered in theater, music, choir, that sort of thing. Like I was like a top tier student, and I did all this shit when I was living in my BM, by the way. Anyways, Daria says, we had a chemistry teacher called Mr. Levins, and the best day I ever had was when I realized his name was Snibble backwards, bro. There were lots of weird things that happened at my school. Tahami? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, it's really different, but easier. It's like American accent compared to British accent. That's fair. Yeah. Daria says, yeah, Tahami, the British accent is levels above, I agree. It's a vibe. Well, it's like I'm trying to learn standard Arabic and then I have to like work a little bit harder. Anyways, I got lost in my story. I'm sorry, y'all. Uh, it can be hard. I really need to practice more. That's why let's see. Yeah. I don't know. There's some places where I could do it. There's a couple of people here in Omaha, but pretty much I just have to go to like a masjid to learn Arabic easily because that's like the most affordable. Anyways, Darius says, despite being the worst influence possible at school, I graduated college with first class degree. It's probably unfair. I said at school I was such a dickhead, bro. Darius says, but I went to uni at 26, which is something I think more dickheads should do because we grow out of it. So just to make it clear, I struggle with authority. So if someone tells me to do something that doesn't make sense to me, I don't want to do it. And I'm not going to do it in the way that people tell me to. I'm just not going to I'm just not that girl. Like you have to have it make sense for me to do something. So my teachers either absolutely loved me or absolutely hated me. Some of my teachers were great. Like the librarians loved me. I was like a library like teacher assistant thing because I got all of my classes done early. Technically, I could have graduated as a junior in high school, but I decided to hold it out like my senior year because I don't know, it was a mistake because then I didn't have to live in my van if I did it the other way, but whatever. It was good experience for me. Core life building experience, you know? I just took fuck around classes and like college classes that could transfer over, which was good for me. Let's see. Dari says, but I went to uni at 26, which is something I think more dickheads should do because we grew out of it. Yeah. Yeah. I struggled with not breaking the rules in ways that I found incredibly amusing. Yeah. I was like one of those people where I treated the teachers like more, not equals, but I kind of treated them like people instead of authority figures. And some of them really enjoyed that because I would see like the person behind them. I wouldn't be like, oh, you're just a teacher and that's all you are. And some other ones didn't like it as much. But it's how I got more opportunities. And yeah, eventually when I graduated, I was still close to some of my teachers. Like, I still have if I go back into town, sometimes I'll like send them a little thing or whatever. But yeah, Dory says, like the last time my dad got proper angry with me was when he wasn't looking. I put a copy of the book Catch Me If You Can in his bag and pissed myself laughing when the security guard asked him if he was stealing it. Bro, I've never done anything like that. I was like, because I was a pastor's kid. So everything that I was allowed to do that was breaking the rules, it was always like intellectually based. So like like it was kind of based, but like you know what I mean? It'd be based in like talking. So I would just question everything. And I carried that into school for me. And because I grew up around a lot of academics, my grandpa would give speeches at different like colleges and that sort of thing about religious history. And then I was just in academia like all the time. Like I said before, I'd like pester professors and stuff, being a little bitch, just asking them constant questions. I just didn't have the same like, oh, I should be afraid of my teacher vibe. I don't know. I was just like, oh, if I just tell them this, then they'll be better. Because I did have some teachers vent to me about things when I was a kid. They'd be like, why are students so intimidated? Why can't they just ask me stuff? And I was like, oh, I can ask questions. And there's nothing that really happens. But if I made them upset with me, I'd cry. Like, I really would. I would just sob. Yeah. I don't know. I feel kind of awkward talking about this. But yeah, I was a straight A student. And I don't know, going back to school, I studied my ass off to get good grades. Like, when I was, this is gonna be so fucking cheesy, but especially my sophomore, junior year of high school, and even parts of my freshman year, I would spend my entire lunch period like studying so I could get a better score on my ACTs and my SATs and stuff. Like I was really, really like I had to try really because I'm dyslexic. So I had to try extra hard to keep up with the rest of my classmates. Because if I didn't do that with my time, I would struggle. And I didn't have time to study when I would leave school either, because I was like pretty much a caretaker for my family. So I would listen to like lectures online related to the subject, like Crash Course was really helpful for me when I was in the later stages of high school and stuff. Daria says, I was just a fool. We once spent 6 months trying to steal all the cutlery from school, and they called a meeting about it where it was very clear they knew that kind of idiocy could only have come from me. Now I was like insanely disciplined. I had a lot of stuff going on. That's why like the minute I started living on my own, I took a break from school. Like I dropped out, did everything like that. One to take care of my family, and then two because I was burnt the fuck out. Like I had to spend years just trying to like keep everything together, and I really needed a break from it to like try and just like ease my mind because I had so much stress about it. Like I remember it would be like 2 a.m. and I would have an exam the next day and I'd have to stay up to like help take care of my grandpa and stuff like that. And I was just like crying in my bedroom, just trying to read over notes because the more tired I was, the more my dyslexia would act up. And I just couldn't focus the rest of the day on it because I had other stressors. Yeah. Darius says very few people get sent to do ADHD tests and the diagnosis comes back and he's just a dickhead. Oof. That's actually kind of rough. For me, a lot of my teachers and staff members, like school counselors and stuff, told my family that they thought I had ADHD, but my family didn't believe in ADHD. So I wasn't able to get tested until my senior year of high school when I was working like two jobs. I also like worked in high school and stuff like that. Instead of like graduating early, I stayed in school and just worked so I can save up for college. That was a whole different thing. I had to spend like most of my money on school, even though I dropped out. If I knew what I know now, I would have done things a lot differently. But yeah. Daria says, I knew exactly what I was doing. I had no interest in school because I thought I was going to play football or my job. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Not for me, I like was really, really intense on doing it. And then, yeah, I kind of lost hope to like going back to school or having like an act like I wanted to find stability outside of my life before I got back into school because that's what caused my education to fall apart before. I didn't have anything stable outside of school to like be a safe base for me so I could keep making money and do all that. Like it took me, I don't know, I graduated in like 2017, 2016, one of those 2 years. And it took me all the way up until now, like almost 10 years later, for my life to be stable enough where I could actually go to school. Like, I'm not even joking with you. Because if I tried to, like, go to school any other time, it just kept, like, things just kept getting involved or getting in the way. And it wasn't a good environment for me. So I was just like, fuck. I need to be sure that I have like more of a stable home life. Otherwise, I can't even focus on school. I can't do anything like that. But now it's a lot better. Daria says, looking back, it was so much fun. We did so much stupid stuff every day. Yeah, I didn't really get to do a lot of like fooling around until I got a bit older, and that's why like when I wasn't in school, I just kind of traveled a lot. I like during COVID, I just spent a lot of my time just working on myself. So I was in therapy and I was like, okay, the next time I go to school, I might cry because it was like so important to me. But I was like, I'm not going to go to school unless I have like my mental health in check because I cannot handle the things that I know I'm going to have to handle while I'm in school if my mental health isn't better. Like my ADHD, if I don't have better like symptom management for that, if I don't have better like symptom management for like my PTSD or like any other stuff going on. Like if I didn't get that in check, I was just gonna be fucked. So yeah, Daria says I just played football till it got dark after school, and we used to get to school early and try to play beforehand as well. Damn, you were like really into it. That's not bad though. Like that level of discipline is actually like really good. And sometimes you just got to keep doing a thing until you don't want to do it anymore, you know? Or you just are ready to do the next thing. And I feel like sometimes people put too much pressure on people and they're just like, oh no, you should give up. Yeah, no, it was amazing. Yeah, and you're probably never going to regret that part of your life because you put your all into something that you loved, you know? I think that's very important. It's very, very important. Oh, sorry, I gotta shit on you a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I don't know if Tahami is like back here again, but thank you for the follow. He might have like unfollowed immediately after, but thank you. I forgot about the notifications. Eventually, I'll have like pop-ups and stuff here. We're evolving. We're evolving, chat. But yeah, it's just yeah, I don't know. School is like a weird thing. I feel like you guys probably haven't like seen that side of me, but I'm like when I do something, I am very very disciplined in it. It's like you can because I have like ADHD. If I don't have self-discipline, it makes it so when I have my off days, I'm fucked. And it's so hard for me to do things. So I have to like really, really like get my shit together and get shit done, which is something that neurotypical people, they don't have the same barriers. So they can just go. It's like when I talk to people about things like school or whatever, it's just smooth sailing for them. And then I have to like put in so much fucking time and effort and and that's why I love school, because I just had to put so much focus in it. It was like my escape. And now it's something I can actually do because I love it and I can afford to do it right now, which is nice. Darius says, once I got dropped from a school team because we forgot we had to go to class and we're playing football on the school pitch instead of being in a religious education or something. Bruh. Just become an idiot like me, Josie. It's easy and fun. I can't do that though. I'm like obsessive. Like now that like my brain is like fixed, at least to the extent where like I can put on a course load and my or like a whole like 80-hour pretty much work week of just stuff I'm doing. Like I'm doing shit almost the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. And in between I have some rest every once in a while, but for the most part I'm doing that like 6 days a week. And I stream like almost every day and I do stuff like I load myself up. And when things are too much, I take a step back. I'm not afraid of like quitting something if I have to. But when it's something that like refuels me, like stream refuels me. It's like an outlet for me to talk about the things that are just kind of like all over that I can't really talk about with people in my life. So I just talk about it online. And it's really fun. And if I didn't have stream, my life would be a lot harder. Like a lot harder. That's why I don't do like all the super competitive things that other people do because it's not the same. I would love for it to be like that in the future, but right now I'm just not putting pressure on it. Dari says, yeah, you're sucking all our energy out of us like a digital vampire and using it for your plants or something. Yeah. Most definitely. Yeah. I don't know. Some of my plants are a little sad, but they're doing so much better. Bringing a lot of them inside, they're all like, and I'm just like, no, my babies. But it's getting better. It's getting better. Now, I'm very like, I don't know. It's interesting because as I've like done better in my life, I've figured out like, oh yeah, this is like who I am, you know? And it's nice because I've been able not to be the same as how I used to be, but find like a healthier approach to my passions. And yeah, make it productive for me too. That's like a thing that I do. I love min-maxing like my time, everything I do. I am so like it has to be like very precise, very organized. I schedule things down to the minute. I'm late for so much shit. Not because I don't respect people's time, but because I'm like I'll have like a 15-minute window and I'll add like 10 minutes to whatever I'm doing. So in case I'm late or whatever, there's traffic, I'm there on time. But I cram my days. Oh no, I like it though. I like it. Yeah, Andrew.
Oh, what?
In high school, was I just like doing a lot of shit all the time?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah, more or less. It's kind of the same as how Andrew tried so hard to get me to like not do it anymore. He was like, you can't be doing things all the time. Like, it's not good for you. Like, when we first started talking, you're like, you need to rest. And I did rest for a couple of years.
Make tacos.
You're making tacos?
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, and I did for a couple of years. And then now I'm just back to it. Oh, wait, did Andrew get in trouble for at school? I don't know. Andrew, did you ever get in trouble for anything at school? Really? Would you like to share it?
Oh, I'm making food.
Okay. Well, what happened?
I got in trouble at school.
Yeah. How many were
I
you?
was chewing gum after the bell rang, and I got sent to detention for it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Andrew said he got sent to detention for chewing gum after the bell rang. Is this high school?
That's middle school.
Middle school. That checks out. Wait,
I don't think I ever got.
were you in public or private school at that time?
What?
Were you in private or public school? It was public school?
Yeah, it was Scott.
Dang. I only, like in high school, I got detention for, missing out classes because I had to take my grandparents to appointments. Okay, bye. You go make the food. Jesus. Thank you. But yeah. So I technically, like my senior year and, my junior year especially, it was really bad my junior year. I missed a lot of school because I had to drive my grandpa and my grandma to a lot of doctor's appointments. And I would have to leave school like at lunch-ish. Most of my junior year, if I wasn't studying in the library, I would have to take my dogs out at home because we had Italian Greyhounds and a German Shepherd. Yeah. We would have like 3 Iggies. Yeah. Most of the time. Sometimes we only had one or two. it was a weird situation, but yeah. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Bro, Daria says I got in detention once because they caught me calling a cat a fat lesbian. Yeah, I never really got in trouble for anything like that. Like, I honestly did not get into a lot of trouble for anything at all. Like, as much as I am like a troublemaker, I do follow like the rules. I'm just annoying and troublesome because I want to understand why the rules exist, and I choose to not follow some rules that I won't get in trouble for. I'm just like, okay, I don't care. That's a stupid rule. I'm not going to do it. And they're just like, God damn it, Tracy. But because the stuff I would do would like compensate for my bullshittery, I would just get away with it. Like I really did. It was kind of crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I was like on honor roll, so they couldn't be like, "Oh, your grades are dipping. You need to pay more attention." I'd just be like, "I'm a straight A student. What do you mean? What do you mean?" Yeah, it was fun. Oh man. But yeah, it was interesting. I got like yeah. I don't know. It's interesting how you guys were like that. I guess some people would think I'm rowdy, but I'm really not. I'm like, I've never been like arrested, knock on wood. Hopefully I never am, like God willing or whatever. That'd be horrible. I would like to, oh no, I'm very particular. I just try not, it's not that I try not to get in trouble. I just don't surround myself with people who do a lot of things that could get them in a lot of trouble. Like, people who do a lot of drugs or whatever, I've never spent a lot of time with. People who do lots of wild things and stuff, I just haven't, like, I don't seem like a goody two shoes because of how I look, but I would say I'm pretty much kind of like a goody two shoes for sure. I'm just a little bit of a sassy bitch because I'm like, I know I can back up what I say, so I'm just like, fuck you, I can say what I want. It's kind of problematic, Lamau. Anyways, Daria says, I was just lucky because I was a complete idiot till I was like 12. And then one summer I just got normal and then used these new powers of critical thinking and planning to amuse myself with complex practical jokes. Bruh, that's called like your frontal lobe developing. You're just like no longer a child, Lamau. But yeah, I don't know. I guess now you guys know about me as a child. I hope that was interesting to you, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Ah, oh no. Yeah. Let's see. Daria says, yeah, man, I was so far behind everyone for something till, then reading, writing, maths, etc., and then it just sorted itself out. Yeah. And sometimes it works out like that. It's really nice. I know a lot of people where that kind of happens. Kind of chill. I don't know. For me, there's nothing too like fancy or exciting or whatever. I just kind of like I don't know. It's not like I lost all my potential by like not being in school or that I went down like the wrong path because I wasn't an addict. I didn't really like do anything crazy. I was just in a lot of like I never was like hospitalized for like not being okay like in some way shape or form. I was just like I want to get my mental health sorted before I do the rest of my life. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to make mistakes in the things that I want to do. So I got really active in the therapy community. I became like a mentor for people who had PTSD who were recovering. And then I confronted a lot of old things in my past. Sometimes it went well and sometimes it didn't. And then it made me confirm, like, okay, I have changed and I've outgrown a lot of these circumstances and situations. And, like, yeah. I don't know, it's interesting. Let's see. Dory says, I think I had massively delayed development because I was like 5'6" at 18. I don't know, man. That could be you. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know enough about that actually. But I'm glad that you got like a lot better though. Wait, how old are you, Doris? Are you like 28, 29, something like that? Are you in your 30s? I can't recall. Yeah. I don't know. Everyone kind of gets to, oh, you're in mid 30s, yeah. Everyone gets to their like maturity at certain points, and then sometimes people never mature. I think a lot of people forget that. They get like so lost in the idea that they're just like there already, like they think they're just there. And I don't think that's really I don't think that's really like ideal, honestly. I no, I don't know. But sometimes people just don't mature. And I feel bad for them. I do. Oh yeah, I know I'm a genius in it. Things just work out, bruh. Ah. What do you like the fucking horoscope girlies or whatever say? If you must have a really good, what is it, like Jupiter placement? I don't know. Maybe Saturn is in your ninth house or whatever. Those are like very accurate like statements for like what is it, tropical astrology or whatever. God, I hate how I know all this. Yeah. Sometimes I regret learning so much about it. I'm like, it's like brain rot. But the girls get me. Yeah, girls, I've got 9 houses, no problem. The ninth house is supposed to be about like education or whatever. So like education, um, what else is it? Education, spirituality, and intelligence or intellect. That's all I gotta say. I got stellium. I'm joking. I'm joking. Or am I? Whatever. Yeah, but like Saturn is like delays or whatever. So it takes you a lot longer and you have to work a lot harder to like get something. And if Saturn is in a certain house, so if your Saturn would be in like the ninth house, it would mean that for you, it takes a lot longer for you to like get comfortable with education and stuff like that. But once you get there, you get there. You just have to work a lot harder to get the building blocks done. Let's see. Daria says, those kind of girls are too serious about all that. They're not fun with it. It's because it's not fun. It can be fun. But, like, a lot of people, you can, like, see when people are going to die and shit in their charts. Or when they be, like, most likely to. There's, like, a Pluto transit. I don't think it's Pluto. I think it's, like, a Mars-Pluto conjunction or something like that that makes you more likely to die. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention to that part of astrology. But, yeah. They're the female equivalent of crypto bros. Well, there is a far right pipeline that low key exists with astrology too. So it's kind of crazy. When I was younger, like in elementary school, I thought astrology and astronomy were the same thing. And that was how I got introduced into it. Is there? Oh, yeah, for sure. I've talked about this. Literally, Reagan's wife was in contact with a like a psychic slash tarot reader slash uh, astrology girly who they would consult for every single decision that they had. That was like major decision in the White House. I'm not even joking with you. Or in their life. So they plan their kids around it. They plan like major political events around it, that sort of thing. Like, I'm legit not joking with you. The pipeline's real. I've done a couple of streams about it, like a whole week dedicated to it. Dari says, OMG, the England football coach, Glenn Hoddle, amazing hair. Used to have a faith healer he made all the players see. I don't know. Like I say, different strokes for different folks. As long as you're not forcing anybody to like believe in it or whatever, I I don't know. I don't know. I won't fuck with it. I still mess around with like supernatural stuff really. Let's see. Hmm. They weren't allowed to play unless they saw her bro, but they were shit, so it didn't matter. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I I know lots of people get really into it. There's lots of like rhetoric about what do you call it? Like you'll hear grand rising a lot in the community. That's like a dog whistle for like more conservative shit. Same with what else is there? The Matrix talk. They talk about the Matrix all the time. Recently, a lot of people in the community thought that they were just gonna like the world was gonna end like 2 days ago or something like that. But yeah. Daria says, doesn't matter how many houses you have in Pluto if you got the first touch like a Toyota. Toyota, bro. Technically, there is no bad chart. There is just, like charts that make it easier for you, not even easier. It means that you have more potential in certain areas than other. It doesn't mean that something will exactly happen a certain way. And a lot of people misread it because they want it to be something like big every time you see something. So like if you have a house in its detriment or like its fall, or a sign in its detriment, that's supposed to be like worse or whatever, but it doesn't mean that you can't have good things. It just means that you have to try harder to have those things, or sometimes putting more focus on it will like fuck you up. So like you just need to not pay attention to it. Like a really good example of that would be like having I don't know, like Venus in Virgo. That's like a sign about love, right? And if you put too much focus on your love life, you'll get too nitpicky because Venus is really comfortable with stuff like Taurus. Like it loves Taurus energy, but it doesn't like Virgo energy because Virgo's really nitpicky and precise. It's it's worse with Capricorn, honestly, because Capricorn is just like super analytical, but at least Capricorn gives a bit. Virgos are like, I'm going to fine tune my relationship. So they can go through a lot of relationships or they can hold off on relationships for a really long time and be very particular about any intimate relationship that they have. Or they can just like let everybody in but don't reveal any like as much about themselves as they should so they don't feel connected with people. It's interesting. It's interesting. Depending on the house it's in, blah blah blah. Daria says, do you worry there's loads of far right pipelines and I can't really recall even once that leads to something like social democrats? Oh, there definitely are. Yeah. George says, yeah, that's right. The world was supposed to end. How did that go for them? They're crying on TikTok, and a lot of them just haven't posted since like the 23rd. It's the 25th now. I think they're gonna start posting again, but they won't be able. A lot of them won't be able to admit that they're wrong, especially the ones that like promoted it really heavily. They'll just be like, oh, it'll be a different day. Like we got the calculations wrong. That's what most like doomsday cult shit does. Daria says there's probably a lot of tinky pipelines, actually. I get annoyed that Lord of the Rings is getting seen as a right wing pipeline now. I know, even though it's like the opposite. I know that, like Luffy, what's the one anime? Oh, it's actually pretty good. I've been watching a little bit more of like clips and stuff like that of it, because I'll be doing more Japanese stuff soon. I know I'm crazy, y'all. Wait, let's see. Feels like Americans misunderstanding the text TBH. Well, everyone wants to be the winner. So a lot of people are like in Nepal and like lots of revolutions like in the Philippines and stuff like that and lots of protests, people are having that like One Piece, that's what it is. The One Piece flag, which I think is like the Jolly Roger, right? No, it's not that one. One Piece flag. Oh, it's the Jolly Roger, yeah. But it's like it's cute. It's like aesthetic. It's like adorable. And it has like Luffy's like straw hat on it or whatever. And oh, One Piece. I don't know about anime. Yeah, it's a I never like my friend would always have it on in the background when I would go stay at his place and stuff. But actually me paying attention to the episodes, I probably only watched like 8 of them, honestly. But it was in the background a lot. But he would always have things I dubbed, not subbed, so I would just be like, if I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't watching it. I watched more JoJo and stuff like that, but whatever. Yeah. Let's see. Darius says that's Luffy though, the pirate they compared the Houthis with, right? It's just kind of like the flag, the Jolly Roger flag, is a symbol of revolution, and some people I literally just saw like a ton of people talking about this because like okay, let me show you. Let's see, One Piece flag at protest. It was in Indonesia. Yeah, like CBC. I mean, not like it's literally like everywhere. Let me find an article that has the most images of it. Maybe this one? No, that's not it. Maybe there's some badass fucking photos of it too. It's actually fucking amazing. Yeah, okay, this one has the most Jolly Roger images. So, but it wants me to like, it'll show, like my email will pop up, so I'm not gonna, I would have to use a different browser, and I'm like doing stuff to my PC. So there you go. The pirate they compared the Houthis with. Yeah, that's the one. Is that getting co-opted by the alt-right now? No, it's the alt-left. Like, the lefties are using it. So the right conservatives can't really use it because, like I said, I paid attention to some of it, but it was always in the background. So I don't really know a lot of, like, the storyline with the main characters. But it's very much, like, anti-capitalism and shit like that. Like, it's not like basically one of the biggest storylines is that uh the fucking government and a lot of the people are abusing the finances that they're getting and they're trying to take advantage of it, which is why it became a symbol in Nepal and Indonesia, as well as now it's in the Philippines a little bit more and that sort of thing. So it's a sign of like government corruption and that sort of thing because it was a big storyline, blah blah blah. I really don't know a lot about the anime. This is just like the stuff I kind of picked up on because that's all I cared about it when my friend would put it on. Like, most of the animes that I liked were really, like, psychological, kind of. I mean, JoJo isn't insanely psychological, but I thought it looked pretty too, so. I'm a little vain, okay, guys? I want it to look pretty too. But yeah, it's more like left leaning. So there are lots of pipelines to the left too, but people they're not as popular nowadays because of the big conservative pendulum swing that we're having. So, like, moderates or centrists are usually people who either don't want to make people upset, so they won't say that they're a Republican or a Democrat. They just want to, like, be center lines and be friends with everybody. They're like people pleasers to the max. And then, you know, how do I say this? I don't know. I don't know as much about it. I'm gonna watch it, like, to practice, like, my anime. Or, not anime, but I'm gonna practice, fucking Japanese with it, because it'll be easier, but yeah. Daria says, TBH, I know very little about Nepal and what the Yetis are mad about. Um, I feel like I'm not the best creator to like dive deep into it. Uh, I don't know. I would say like people were really mad about the government corruption and the financial issues that were happening, which is why the Jolly Roger was used because that was like a big premise in the show. So what happened in Nepal? Yeah, Nepal's first female prime minister in power. Yeah, blah blah blah. Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and now Nepal. South Asian regimes keep getting toppled. Blah blah blah. Basically, I know more about the Philippines than I do know about Nepal. But long story short, there was a lot of like financial stuff that were given to a lot of the government officials in charge that they shouldn't be having. You had a lot of like the Philippines influencers and influencers from Nepal and Indonesia and stuff like that who had government like relatives in power and that sort of thing. They were getting more money than they should. They were living very lavish lifestyles that they really shouldn't have. And I think what happened in Nepal was a social media ban because they were upset with how Gen Z was portraying certain things. Um, and that's what sparked it. Yeah, social media is a double-edged sword. So basically, they're trying to get rid of like Facebook and all that sort of thing. And Gen Zers, and it wasn't just Gen Zers, like people who were very much pro like freedom of speech and freedom of media were really pissed because social media, for the most part, is the way that most people get their information nowadays. It's just how it is. So there's lots of stuff that led into it. So there's the financial corruption. A lot of the public was trying to do like expose these people more, and then they were like, let's have a ban. And then that sparked all this shit. And now other countries are like, holy fuck, because people are like, oh, Nepal can do that? Fucking, we can do this shit too. So they're just doing more and more shit. And then that led to France doing what they were doing. Basically, their government collapses all the time though, so it's blah. They're not really set up for success. But, I think them toppling more means that they can rebuild a little bit better, or at least have more change than like what America has. It inspires people to keep doing things. But whatever. Daria says they tried to fight us once and lost half their territory. Yeah. It's not really about China, no. But yeah, that's pretty much what it was about. There was lots of other layers that go into it, obviously. Like, things don't just happen out of nowhere. They escalate over this time span of like years to decades sometimes. But this has been bubbling up for like at least a couple decades. But social media exposes the corruption, and you can't manage social media easily. Right now, we're having some stuff going down with TikTok, right? Where basically a lot of super fucking rich people who already own a lot of social media companies or broadcasting companies here in the United States are pitching together to co-own TikTok. And that's something that Trump signed with the executive bill today, or executive order, just like before I started streaming. I was watching it. And I think Murdoch is involved, which is a really big red flag because he's super conservative. Most of the people that he was mentioning were extremely conservative. Murdoch, I think, already has what media does Murdoch own? He owns Fox News, Wall Street Journal, New York Post, The Times, and The Sun in the UK. Major Australian media, HarperCollins, which is a book publisher, and so on and so forth. But he has a really big empire, and though he doesn't completely own most of these companies, he does have very, very large shares and I don't know, like assets in these companies. Like he's really big here. And because he has such a conservative leaning, it doesn't really look good. Because now most of the social media companies that are in the United States, aside from like Blue Sky, and I think they have like another one like Blue Social or whatever, I don't know, that's like TikTok. Um, most social media companies are owned by conservatives, and there's already been signs of conservatives silencing left-leaning rhetoric, which is a whole nother thing, and rolling back initiatives to protecting people from hate speech and that sort of thing. It's been crazy. It'll go back in like 10 years, maybe a little bit longer than that, but socially it'll go back like 10 years. It'll probably take like 15 minimum years for there to be more legislation to reverse all this stuff, but it's not looking good here. Let's see. God, that kid must feel like such a moron if that photo sparked a revolution. Well, it didn't really spark a revolution. There's lots of stuff that get into it. Daria says, right, it's bedtime. Josie, let's see what Kira Starmer has got for me tomorrow. Probably making pets illegal or something. Bruh. Okay, bye. I do have to get going soon, too. George says good night as well. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about, like, Murdoch and stuff. Because I heard him mention it earlier today, and I was like, ugh. And that was kind of in the works for a bit. Apparently, there's going to be a bit of a merger where China's going to still own the algorithm, but America's going to have a lot of influence over what is or isn't allowed, which obviously, like, they were not going to give it up. Like, America has no stakes in this, really. Like, it'll survive with or without America's influence. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. I've been thinking about it a lot, though. I think more people have been talking about it online. I'm on TikTok, so that's a lot of people are panicking and thinking that people would have to move to a totally separate app. A lot of people in the government were kind of hinting at that, but I'm really happy that it's like staying there. But I am branching out to other media platforms because I have trust issues. I highly, highly doubt that it's going to be as censored, because I don't think China's gonna be like allowing them to do everything that they say they want to do. But I also know that eventually it's just not gonna be super pretty for a while. And I feel kind of bad about it. Because, nobody, like, people are just not super happy about it. I don't know. I get kind of worried and nervous, but yeah, we'll see. We shall see. I've been thinking about it a lot, though. I think government censorship is going to be hard because the government doesn't regulate social media in the same way that it does with, like, television and broadcasting and stuff like that. And even then, they can't just get rid of broadcasting willy-nilly. Like, it doesn't work because there's so much money involved. And most of the public doesn't watch TV anymore. They pretty much just watch things on, like, their phones, on YouTube and that sort of thing. So I don't really... Oh no, I think the government's kind of grasping at straws because they had an opportunity to basically manage or regulate more social media stuff during the MySpace era, but they decided not to because of the big internet boom and that sort of thing. They viewed it to be nothing, just like AOL chat rooms, basically, or just something that would phase out with time. And that didn't really happen. So now they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. Let's see. George says, so you think they should have just canceled it completely instead of having a US company take it over? Not necessarily. I'm saying that, like, because a US company isn't technically taking it over, it's like a state entity, not a state, but like a United States entity is collaborating with a foreign entity to make it more possible to be here in the States. It doesn't mean that China doesn't have control over it anymore, because they still pretty much do. Like, they can just choose to not follow through with what the US branch of stuff says for things. Branch very loosely. And that branch would just not know. So, like, China still holds the reins for almost everything here because they're not going to give out the access so that the people here in the States would know if changes are actually being made, because everything surrounding the TikTok algorithm is very, very, very much protected by them. So if the United States, or having TikTok here in the States, were to be separate from China, they'd lose that algorithm, and Trump doesn't want to do that. So, or at least most of the US entities don't want to do that, because that's what makes it profitable. And we have not been able to replicate that algorithm here. So it's like, and a lot of that algorithm is based off of like facial, like it will literally scan your face as you're scrolling through the app. Like you'll see like the little like camera icon, like recording icon, like pop up when it's like monitoring what you're doing. And that's part of why it works, because they have really, really, really good facial recognition and micro expression recognition and that sort of thing. If China does that, they probably just ban it here. Other apps do it too. They'll use like location monitoring and stuff like that, and you can even turn it off on your phone, and some applications will still run it in the background. It really depends. Like that's something that's been an issue with some Android devices, which that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah. Yeah, it's not great. So like, let's see. Yeah. No, TikTok will not keep the exact same algorithm, especially if there is a sale of it. Okay, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. This is 4 days ago. No. Yeah, but I believe, from what I understood, yeah, it'll be overseen by, yeah. I mean, if China does keep their deal with Trump, what do you mean? Type 2 says ByteDance and China still haven't agreed to even sell. This is all performative. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not something that's actually being put into place. So China is still in full control over the algorithm. They have full control over what people see. Like, there is nothing. It's just kind of, you're right. It is showboating type 2. You're correct. George says, no, I mean, if China does keep their deal with Trump. Right now, there isn't really much of a deal, though, or doesn't keep their deal with Trump. Yeah, but they won't have any way of knowing whether or not the deal has been actually kept. Because if China keeps the algorithm, which they're not willing to give it off, and I wouldn't either. If I was them, I'd not share anything with the states, because the states have proven to not be reliable or responsible. Not trying to be shitty, it's just how it is. And why would they give away like their a huge like financial asset just to a country that they're already struggling with relationship wise? It's just stupid, you know? And yeah, so it really is just performative. There is no giving it away. And because the United States doesn't have access to the algorithm or behind the scenes in the algorithm, you can't actually see if anything's being enforced. You have to take everything basically by what they say. Maybe they could see some logging information, but most of the logs that they'd be able to access would be very minimal, because they will not have access to the algorithm. This goes back into like my web dev background, and algorithm based stuff like this is very much web dev. But anyways, Riss says, interesting topic. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I really like this sort of thing. I don't think that TikTok will really go anywhere anytime soon, because without TikTok, a lot of people will go really upset. Like you saw, like what we were just talking about with Nepal and everything. Maybe there wouldn't be a full-scale revolution like how there was in Nepal, or like Indonesia or the Philippines, and like so on and so forth. But there is definitely a lot of Trump's base will be, and conservatives as a whole, will be very, very pissed if they lose their algorithm. Because like even Trump was talking about this today. A lot of business owners advertise on TikTok. They collaborate with different content creators, and they literally have so many advertisements on TikTok for their goods, and that's where they get the most of their publicity out there for their product, their establishment, so on and so forth, their service, whatever. And without TikTok, other forms of social media are not hitting the base that they need in the same way. And because TikTok allows sounds to be so easily like shared and everyone can like use different sound bites and stuff, it's like you can find your own niche community a lot easier. So right now there is pretty much no change to TikTok. It's just performative, just like what Type 2 was saying. George says, that's not what I took from the meeting today. They said the US would have control over the algorithm. But they're not, like, the thing is if you do not have access to an algorithm, how can you ensure that you actually have control over it? If you don't have access to the behind the scenes of how something works, how can you know that anything that you're saying is being taken into account? And why would they change anything for the United States? I wouldn't. Like, if no one could see behind the scenes, I'd just be like, right, so we're just going to take our money from you and we're just going to leave it as is. Because why would you? Like, why would they? Like, give anybody that access? That's not part of the agreement right now. Yeah, they said the US would have control, but how can they actually monitor whether or not they have control if they can't have access to the algorithm? I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, so NBC, President Trump signed an executive order Thursday paving way for a TikTok deal that could transfer majority ownership of the app to Americans. Here's a link, because this is one of the newer ones. Let's see. While it appears the terms of agreement are set, it will likely take some more time for the sides to close the deal as they hammer out finer legal and financial points. This is going to be American operated all the way. I have great respect for the President Xi. This is what Trump's saying, quote, and I very much appreciate that he approved the deal because to get it done properly, we really need the support of China and the approval of China. This is the article now. Under the new framework agreement outlined by the executive order, TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance and its affiliates will own less than 20% of TikTok, while certain investors will retain 80% ownership. The plan would achieve the qualified divestiture required for TikTok to comply with federal law. It is not clear who all the parties of the deal are, blah, blah, blah. Trump told reporters last week that the investors are all very well-known people, famous people actually financially. The deal, end quote, the deal will allow for these American investors to control the app's algorithm, Vance said, which there's no evidence of that actually being so. Which curates the type of content users see in their feeds, made the app's For You page famous for its engagement-driven personalization that democratized virality and transformed online culture. When asked whether he wants to see the new algorithm suggest more MAGA content, Trump told reporters, I always like MAGA-related content. Quote, if I could make it 100% MAGA, I would, but it's not going to work out that way, unfortunately, end quote. He also stated, and I quote, no, everyone's going to be treated fairly. Every group, every philosophy, and every policy will be treated fairly, end quote.
Dinner in 5.
Dinner in 5, thank you. TikTok did not immediately respond to a request for comment about the deal. So basically, there has been like no comment by TikTok about any of this, whether or not they would actually give anything to the United States. But as of now, they have stated that they do not want to share their algorithm with the United States or any foreign entity because it is too profitable. And even if they were to maintain 20% shares in the company, that still does not mean that ByteDance has to disclose that information. So like I said before, in order to have control over the algorithm, you would have to have access to the algorithm. And with the parameters of the deal, if that access is not granted and enforced, then they will not be able to make changes. So that's why everyone's just like, oh, this is showboating, kind of like how Type 2 said. Because there's not a lot of reasoning for them to actually do that. And if I was ByteDance, I wouldn't share shit with the United States, because the United States is very much known for taking foreign things and trying to customize it and make it American. And they project that onto China. Like, every country does this. It's not just like the United States or China or whatever. They want, if they have the resources to do it, they're going to make it their own country instead. I'm losing my voice again. But yeah. Most countries want things to be profitable for them. If they can do it, they're going to do it. So, yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Trump says a lot of things. He said that he was going to end the war in Ukraine with Russia, and he never did it. He said he was going to do XYZ. He can't always follow through with the things that he promises. George says maybe they should just ban it here then. But then there'd be public uproar. And him banning it is going to make him look even worse, because he ran a lot of his campaign on promising keeping it. And that's how he's holding on to a lot of his small business owner audience, as well as like youth audience. Without it, there's going to be a lot of problems, because tons of people use TikTok. And I've been experimenting with it for a while, and I understand why people like it so much. But yeah. We'll have to see what happens. Yeah, but a lot of creators are already migrating to other social media platforms because they don't trust that the deal's actually going to go through, that there's not going to try to like make a copy of it just for America or whatever. Which, if they do, no one wants to be on an app that's just American only. They like how you can interact with so many other countries and their algorithms. It's like a big unifying thing throughout the entire world. And I think India banned it, right? Let's see. Did India ban TikTok? Yeah. Yeah. India was one of TikTok's largest markets, with an estimated of 120 to 200 million users at the time of the ban. The ban disrupted the lives of many Indian creators and users, and yeah. India, Afghanistan, Kyrgyzstan, Nepal, Somalia, and Senegal all banned it. Although Nepal is reversing that ban because of, what's going on. Yeah. There's lots of countries who have banned it. And, yeah. There's just a lot of stuff. Alright, y'all. It is time for me to go eat, though. I guess it's time for me to go. Now. So anyways, I gotta eat. I'm hungry. So we went through a lot of stuff today. That was pretty fun. I think it's better if I like actually show you stuff, but I have to get my other browser ready to go, and then I can show you the things. And I can do it. But yeah, whatever. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for watching the VOD if you're into that. And I'll see you guys all tomorrow, probably. So sleep well, stay safe, stay alive, and peace.